backpacks under there, right?
Rig.
Oh, I just got something. Professional rig.
Propped up by a beer bottle on the letter.
It would have been so much better. Oh, it's live now. Are we on? Yeah, we're on. Hello, world. Two people viewing.
Alright, so
Ourselves.
Let's let it fly.
alright guys, this is Steve Cole with Granular. Thanks for joining us for our first Facebook Live Q&A. We're trying this out and hopefully we're able to answer some of the questions that were submitted. So I'm going to be the man behind the camera for the rest of the Q&A asking the questions, but I'll let each of these guys introduce themselves.
I'll start. I'm Joe Martinez. I'm the senior manager of paid media and community here at Granular.
Hey, I'm Jordan Meyer, founder and president of Granular.
And I'm Tom Wolf, also senior manager of paid media.
Alright, so this is Steve here. We're just going to jump right into the questions. So the first question we have is, how can I do pay-per-click if I don't have a mobile-friendly website?
I can take that one. Two good options for you here. One, Google gives you the ability to set bid levels based on device. So if you don't want to be advertising on mobile, you can set your mobile bid to minus 100 and just not show ads there. Also, Google gives you the option to, somebody is clicking your ad on a mobile search, that you can just make it click to call, so they're not actually going to a website. They're going to just be calling your phone number and you can handle them that way.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll just echo, the benefit of click to call or call only ads. If you're a small business and don't have a lot of budget, or you're just really doing a lot of business over the phone, click to call is a really good option for you.
Awesome. So next question, where should I start if I'm looking to do paid search for the first time? Joe?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of research tools out there, a lot of blogs that we follow. If you're completely new in terms of trying to do it yourself, I've kind of learned a little bit initially by myself before having agency experience. So I look through blogs or Search Engine Land. PPC Hero is definitely going to be a good one. Search Engine Journal, and there's a lot of other blogs. We use PPC Chat. Twitter is one where you can interact with your community and get involved with other people who have been doing it for you. This is one of the best industries out there where people share information. Nobody holds huge secrets out there, so if anyone thinks they have, the magic key that unlocks everything, most likely that information is already out there. So God bless the internet, social media. It's a great way to learn, and even Google's tools themselves. You go to Google Partners, when you take all the exams, they have help guides that break out everything of what you need to learn to be successful at this job.
Yeah.
Nice. Would you guys have anything to add to that if someone's looking to do paid search? Like, let's say if they're a professional working in-house, they do marketing for a company and they've been asked to do paid search, what would your advice be?
Advice I'd give you is start small, start with tight targeting. You can waste a lot of money really quickly. There's a lot of traffic out there that you can target, so start small, start narrowly targeted, and learn and build up from there, so you're not wasting a whole bunch of money out the gate and thinking that PPC or any of these advertising platforms aren't a good fit, because you're just kind of throwing everything out there right away.
Yeah, and to piggyback on both of their answers, I think it's important to understand the fundamentals. So, when we're saying start small or start targeted, we've seen a number of accounts that we've taken over from people who haven't really been trained or understand what a match type is, or understand geographic or language targeting. So just make sure you understand match types and your geo-targeting and your budget settings before you even launch a campaign. And Google's a really good place to learn that. All their help documents explain it very well. Joe mentioned PPC Hero too, they're a friendly competitor in the space, and they have really short and easy to understand blog posts and help documents that'll help you get started too.
Nice. So next question, if I'm starting out with PPC, should I start with Facebook ads or Google AdWords? Or both?
Good question. I'll take this one first. Typically we would recommend starting with AdWords. Facebook's really easy, and we've seen a lot of people start that way just because you're already signed in and it's really kind of native to you. You use Facebook every day, so why not advertise on it? But I would advise against that and say AdWords just fundamentally is better to start out with because the intent is so high of the people searching for your product or your service. People type in directly into Google what exactly they want. So if they're looking for a plumbing service, or they're looking for a couch, or they're looking for a TV, they're searching to buy that and find that through Google. Facebook doesn't work the same way. You're targeting a really good audience, but you don't necessarily know if the person's intent is to take an action. So, AdWords is typically a good place to start. High intent, good return on investment.
If you're looking to grow brand awareness, if you have a product that is brand new, or your company is little followers or anything, Facebook can be a good place to start on top of running some nice display and awareness on Google as well. You can reach that target audience who might not even know you exist. So if you have low search volume, Facebook would be a good place to start on top of it. But in terms of what Jordan said, actual intent, we'd always like to start with Google first.
I think they got it covered.
All right. So this one is a little more technical. How many keywords should you have in each ad group running an optimized AdWords account?
So there's not a perfect answer, I don't think, to this. Really what you're going to want to be thinking about is, does each of these keywords, is it relevant to the ad for that ad group? If it's not, it should be broken out. If there can be a better ad written for those keywords, they should be in a separate ad group. That usually plays out for ad groups having somewhere between 3 to maybe 10 keywords total, but again, it's not about an exact number, it's more about having a relevant ad to that search.
Yeah, exactly. And I would just add to that a lot of examples that we could use are, let's say shoes. If you start building out every type of shoe in one ad group, you're going to have hundreds of potential keywords. So you always want to stick to one theme. If you're talking about dress shoes, if you're talking about men or women's shoes, if you're talking about athletic shoes, and then even deeper on that is Nike athletic shoes, Adidas athletic shoes, children's athletic shoes, men's athletic shoes. These all deserve their own ad group, and because they're all their kind of own theme. So basically, if you start to see ad or keyword count start to creep up, like 20, 30, 50, 100 keywords in one ad group, there's definitely room to break that out into their own separate, more targeted ad groups.
And this is where match types become really, really important too, because in terms of quality score and relevance, everyone, or not everyone, that's wrong for me to say, a lot of people still think that the relevancy is determined on your keyword with your ads and your landing page, and that isn't true. Relevancy is determined on how your keywords connect with the user's actual search query. So that's why exact match, it's real easy to control your ad message and your landing page, but if you get more broad, you not necessarily know all the search terms that are going to come in. So that can really determine your ad group breakout too. It's all about the user search query, what was the user's intent, and that can really define how you want to break out your ad groups too.
I don't know if you got a chance to look at a comment we got from Jim Simon. Hey Jim, PowerPC, not what we're talking about.
Yeah, that is. I liked his comment. I thought that was pretty funny.
Commonly confused in Milwaukee.
So next question. This is one we get a lot. So, does it make sense to bid on my company's brand name if we already rank #1 in the SEO results?
I'd say yes. It definitely makes sense to bid on that. One, SEO now, depending on how much competition there is for a certain search query, #1 organic result could almost be technically number 5 on the search engine results page. So the way that Google has it formatted now that the sidebar ads are missing, you can have up to 4 ads on top of the organic rankings. And depending on what view you're looking through or how wide your desktop screen is, sometimes organic isn't even visible above the fold, right when even you see the results. So if you really want to have a true number 1 spot on the page, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, and a lot of brands, once they start to gain traction and they're popular brands in the community or in the country or the world, you'll have competitors bidding on your own brand. So another big reason to bid on your own brand is for brand protection. And then I think there's probably a third reason, just with staying relevant, promoting, timely promotions and events and things like that you can't necessarily change in your organic listing because you try to keep that static. By having an ad, you can have a lot more dynamic ad copy and more kind of, I don't even know, just more fluid messaging with how your company is actually currently running as far as promotions or things like that.
Yeah, only just to piggyback on that, the ads give you a lot more control of where you're sending somebody within your site. So even if it is a brand term, they could be searching something like, granular pricing, and Google will be showing them just your homepage where you do have the opportunity to drive them directly to where they are looking to go on your site. So control can be another thing to keep in mind also.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. You guys kind of touched on this in a previous question. How do you stay up to date on all the changes in the pay-per-click industry?
Yeah, that's good.
Just ask Joe.
Twitter.com/Milwaukee PPC.
Yeah, I like to participate in a lot of Twitter chats. I read blogs daily, multiple times a day, night. I'm obsessed with PPC. It's even fun for me besides a job. So yes, I do this when I go home. So, call me a nerd, whatever.
Passionate.
Yeah, there you go. Passionate. I'm passionate. But that's just the way you do it. This industry moves way too fast. Google will have some, announcements once a year, and they'll do some webinars and everything. But there's always little subtle changes and new strategies coming out from other people, just like us, working at other agencies, working in-house somewhere. So it's, social media is very big in our industry too, and a lot of people share what they do. So kind of just keeping track of that, following certain hashtags online, to really see what other people are doing and changing in this industry.
Yeah, and I think aside from seeing what Joe's talking about on Twitter, I think the kind of a good flaw about a lot of us in the paid search industry is that we're know-it-alls and we're kind of like reporters. So we always want to break the story before anyone else does, and we want to know about all the latest features before anyone else does. But then once we figure that out, we share it on a blog post or a video like this or Twitter. So really just follow the community, because there's a bunch of people in the community that are going to be talking about the latest and greatest features in paid search and paid social, all that good stuff.
Nice. What are your favorite paid search tools?
AdWords. No, but really.
So outside of the platforms themselves, there's really good competitive tools out there. SpyFu, AdBeat, that you can plug in competitor websites, get what types of ads they're using, what keywords they're bidding on, stuff like that. AdWords has really good tools within their platforms. Their keyword tool, you can search for keywords you're thinking about bidding on, and it can give you competition levels, suggested bids, things like that.
SEM Rush is another good one, similar to SpyFu. It's a monthly subscription-based product, but you can do keyword research, competitive research, things like that. I would say a favorite tool of ours is Optimizer, which was made by Frederick Villiers. Sorry, Frederick, if you're watching. So we really love that product from an efficiency standpoint. It really just builds upon our internal knowledge and helps us do our job a little better.
Optimizer is definitely my favorite. Second favorite, even though it's not really PPC specific, is Google Tag Manager. Really, really easy to put in a bunch of different types of code, whether it's AdWords or Google specific codes to Facebook pixels to certain third-party tools like ClickEgg and everything like that. So not only is it easy to have all your code in one place, but you can set up cool event tracking that we can actually use in paid search to do either just certain level step funnel performance checking, and we can also create certain goals from Tag Manager. We can create remarketing audiences from Tag Manager, so it's a wide purpose tool that goes beyond PPC, but can really help us too.
Yeah, and a lot of these are paid services. I would say, the number one tool that a lot of us started out with was Excel. So Excel is your best friend for paid search and analytics. It's kind of a given. That's why I don't think we mentioned it, because we're in it all day, every day.
So we have a question here from Lindsay. What are the benefits of having a high quality score?
It'll save you money. Usually when you enter in a new keyword, that quality score is going to start out at a 6 out of 10. So that's the standard that Google has. As you bump that quality score up to a 7, 8, 9, 10, it'll save you cost per click. Because if Google sees that you're more relevant, that's how the smaller guys can really compete with the big dogs in the game. It makes it a fair playing field. So Google really is trying to help the user. It's not about them trying to suck as much money as they can. Yes, they do want to make money, but they understand if the user doesn't see ads that are relevant to them, they're going to stop using that product, and then Google won't make money. So they will give rewards, or they'll benefit certain businesses if they are relevant to the user's search query. The higher your quality score goes up, more money you save.
Yeah, and on the opposite spectrum, the lower quality scores are given to advertisers who shouldn't really be advertising for a product or service. So Google will try to penalize them to push them out of the auction, make sure that their ads don't show as often, make sure they're paying a premium for it, and it kind of balances out and improves the quality of Google.
Maybe if you can just take a couple seconds here and explain, like, to someone who's heard the words quality score, but they don't do paid search, can you explain what quality score is?
Yeah, so it's basically a rating system that Google uses within AdWords to rate how you versus the rest of the people participating in auction rate for a search that somebody's performing, and kind of the factors that go into it. The biggest one is click-through rate. So for those searches, how often does Google expect you to click? Your ad relevance, so is your ad that you'd be triggering actually relevant to that search? And then your landing page, so is your landing page of high quality and what somebody would be expecting to see if they were to click your ad?
Nice. And then just one last question, unless we get a question from the Facebook feed here. Hi, I work in-house managing paid search for a small e-commerce company. If we're looking to do Google Shopping for the first time, where should we start?
Specifically Google Shopping ads?
Just Google Shopping, yeah.
Okay, so the biggest thing is to look at the CMS or the website platform that you're on. If you're on something standard like Magento, BigCommerce, Shopify, those guys have tools already built in that'll help you a lot. And what those tools are is basically an automatic feed creator. So in order to run shopping ads, you need to create what's essentially a big spreadsheet full of all of your product data and information, like pricing, shipping weight, description, photos of the product, just everything about a product that you can think of in a spreadsheet. When you have one of those kind of big nationally known tools or websites, you can basically press a couple buttons and generate a feed and then hook that up to AdWords and run ads based off of that feed. If you're more of a custom website or it's hand built, things like that, you're going to have to manually create that spreadsheet of products, which is a little more difficult, and upload that into a separate website called the Google Merchant Center. and that's kind of a separate account, but it ties into AdWords and lets you load your products into AdWords. That was kind of in the weeds, but hopefully that helps if anyone wants to piggyback on that one.
Is there any resource, like let's say a podcast that people can go to?
Yeah, so I did a pretty extensive explanation of Google Shopping on a podcast about a month and a half ago called Paid Search Magic, and we have that linked on our website, granularmarketing.com, under I think About and then Press, and you'll find it linked there. Steve, I think, will also share a link to that either in this Facebook feed or in a follow-up email. But there's additional resources out there too. You know, PPC Hero, Search Engine Land, Google itself has really good help documents on this.
Yeah, I would definitely look at the Google Help ones too and get familiar about what Google requires you to have in that feed. Because then you might find out that there's the bare minimum of what Google requires, but you'll see how important it is to have more than just the minimum. So you might need to go back to your product pages or how the product template is on your website and make adjustments so all that data is on those pages that Google can pull from if you can't store that information in a separate area.
And it's like pieces of flair. You don't want the minimum amount of flair.
All right, so I think that's all the questions we have. We're going to stop now. This one didn't go the full hour, but hopefully next time we've got more questions. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll do a recap, and looking forward to doing this again soon.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for Granular.
Bye.